Hi, Doug Jones here with another Energy Matters vlog. Continuing on with how to handle the large field forces associated with the coronavirus. And last time I named those as terror, terror of death, wow, and so forth. And we talked about centering, grounding, and differentiation. The third one I used personally to great effect this time was to take advantage of the energy of the large field force and use it to my benefit. And here's what that means. I was aware that the large field of terror had stimulated or resonated with my own terror. And I found that I was terrified, and I did some process with that. And this to me is a big wave of energy. And as a surfer, I like big waves, and there's a lot of energy. So I used it to take a look at my relationship with my own death. How do I feel about my death and dying? I used it to take a look at my relationship with fear and really big fear or terror. How am I doing with that? For me personally, I've spent a lot of time looking at those two, so I was pretty good on that front. It did highlight a third area, which I'm going to talk about in a sec. But back to you, one of the things that this coronavirus happening that's going on right now can help you with is it can help you find out how you are with death and dying personally, and how you are with fear of death and dying personally, of yourself and of others. And about half the people can handle this in-house, and they do their own mindfulness and self-inquiry, and they'll move forward. And about half, it really is a good idea to get a counselor, pastor, priest, death shaman, a psychotherapist, anybody that you see, trust, and who is good at this to help you through this process of sifting and sorting your beliefs about death and the fear associated with it until you can find a place to stand. I've done this over the last week or two with a number of clients, and it's had great benefit for them. There is a settling. As we turn to face our own death, we tend to, over time, as we do our work, find our way to be more peaceful with it and have a deeper level of understanding. And this is incredibly empowering and useful, so I recommend it if you haven't done it. Back to me, what I found was really amusing to me. I'm easily amused. I found that I'd done a lot of work on the emotional and spiritual components of death and dying and my own fear, that, and I've worked for decades literally on that. Well, where the fear was coming for me was I was afraid of leaving a mess behind for Marika, Katya, and Simon, for my loved ones. I thought that was really weird because I've done a lot of work. They know I love them. I've done a lot of cleaning up of our relationship and that. And I realized that the gap that was highlighted when I used the large field force to look at death and dying for myself was on a much more physical, practical, mundane level. For example, Marika and I have a trust, which we set up a long time ago, and neither child knows where it is. They don't know where my investment folder is. They don't know the passwords to my computer. None of that I've communicated or put in a central place. I realized that if I died unexpectedly, I would leave behind this horrific game of hide and go seek for Marika and my children, my adult children, which is a terrible thing. And it is an easy solution for me to just gather and organize things in one folder in one place so that should I have an untimely demise, they could go to one place and have all that information gathered. And that would be much easier on them. And I felt myself downregulate as I did that. Other things, I realized that my healthcare directive, which I have, which tells Marika and or my children how I'd like my end of life to be managed, is 32 years old. And it's still valid, but a lot has changed even in the last decade in healthcare, and I absolutely need to upgrade that so that it's tip-top and they're not bringing in a dinosaur document if they need it. Those are just two examples that were highlighted when I did what I'm suggesting to you. I found my center, I'm grounded, I differentiated, this is mine, this is the large field, and then I used it to say, well, what's driving my fear? What's got me upset? What's not sitting well? And it highlighted some work for me to do. and I committed to doing that work, and I felt a lot better. So I would encourage you to look at your version of this and use this as an opportunity to clean up your own psyche, your own house on whatever level it needs, and that this can be really empowering moving forward. As always, I wish you all good health out there. Please be careful. This is Doug Jones. Thanks for listening.